Hello, welcome to Run Testers. My name's Nick. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my race experience at the Pleshey Half Marathon yesterday. I didn't do a pre-run, tee-up of the video yesterday because I was very focused on the race and I essentially forgot. The plan for the race was to try and be competitive in the Essex Half Marathon Championships. The Pleshey Half Marathon is also the county championships for that distance. You're running on a rural Essex countryside course, a really good course. It's a course I love that's got some undulations in it. I think the total elevation is something like 90 meters, something like that, but it's all fairly up and down pretty consistently, so you can run pretty fast on it. I did run fast on it. I ran a PB in the end and I was second on the day, so I had a fantastic day all round. I was testing the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyo along with the Phoenix 8 Pro versus the Forerunner 970 and using the kit I'm planning to use for the Loch Ness Marathon in a couple of weeks. So my Soar Club vest and the Soar Rion trail shorts. So yeah, let's dive into the race experience now. Hello from Pleshey, the home of running within Essex. Just run the Pleshey Half Marathon where I've had, I think, my best race yet in the half marathon. I think I've PB'd and I've got second on the day, so that's my first Essex individual county medal. Very, very pleased all round. Really good run today. Like, we went out hard. I tried to stay with the leader as long as possible, dropped some very fast early miles and then held on solo in the second half to bring home a good time and the medal. And I was wearing the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyo, so it was a big debate today, it's fair to say. I've brought the Metaspeed Ray with me as well. I was really struggling to decide all the way through, and I thought, got the marathon in 2 weeks, Loch Ness Marathon. This is the end of a reasonably hard, high mileage week. Best just to go for the safer option, which is the Sky Tokyo, a shoe that I feel like I know very well because it is quite similar to the Sky Paris, just with a little bit more softness. And yeah, it felt brilliant, like I always get with these Asics Metaspeed shoes. It's a really lightweight, responsive ride. It just feels like you're sinking a bit more, I think, with the Sky Tokyo compared to the Sky Paris, but then it comes back quickly to me. Nice bit of punch off the plate, meant that on an undulating course here, I was able to roll through the uphills pretty well and then take advantage of the downhills, getting a lot of bounce out of the shoe. And yeah, I really love it. And so certainly very impressed once again by the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyo. Maybe the shoe I use for Loch Ness, probably. I mean, it's between that and the Puma and the Metaspeed Ray still. Still a little bit scared of the Metaspeed Ray for a long run, as much as I think it's an amazing shoe. And the softness might be really good on the downhills of Loch Ness and some downhills today, and it's so light, but yeah, all really good shoes. But the Sky Tokyo did the job today. I also ran the Phoenix 8 Pro and I've got the live track running, so we'll see how that affected battery life afterwards. GPS was spot on both it and the Forerunner 970 today. Other than that, the kit was pretty, much standard, although I'm wearing some Rion shorts from Soar as well, which I'm probably going to use in Loch Ness, which, felt very good shorts for sure. But yeah, I'll do a bit more feedback back at the house because I'm a bit cold now and need to go and see what's going on. So it was a really epic day yesterday. I'm really, really pleased with how it went all round with the time and getting second place overall. It's been a really good training block for me. I've been hitting my highest mileage ever, but I haven't really been racing. It's been the summer holidays with the kids, been away on a trip. I've just been focused on training hard and not racing too much. So to get a really good result like that, vindicates all the training I've been doing. And I think I'm in a really good spot ahead of the Loch Ness Marathon in a couple of weeks, where again, I'm planning basically to be racing for places as much as possible rather than time so much. But obviously did get the time yesterday, which I was very pleased with. We got pretty lucky, I think, with the weather yesterday. It's really windy here in the UK today, and that started yesterday afternoon, and luckily the actual morning yesterday was pretty still, really nice conditions in terms of temperature, wind. I was able to run with the leader for 5 miles and then fortunately had to say goodbye to him as he spurted away to take the win, but I was within sight of him for most of the race. I wasn't running entirely solo in a way, and that helped me just carry through at a good pace all the way. Realised I was on for the time when I got through the final big-ish uphill, I think within the 10th and 11th mile, and just had to push hard there to try and secure a PB, which I did. So yeah, 69.35 on the day, really pleased with that, and certainly had a great time in the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyo. I do think it's a great shoe. I do think you're getting a little bit of extra spring compared to the Sky Paris. I do think it's a little bit light, and it's obviously a little bit lighter as well, so I think you're getting lots of similar features to that shoe in terms of how much pop you get off the forefoot and how easily it kind of delivers that propulsion and bounce. But you have got a slightly lighter shoe with, I think, a slightly bouncier foam. I think coming down the downhills at times, there's quite a big wedge of that soft foam at the back, which I think gives you a nice amount of cushioning and bounce, and maybe you lose a bit of stability, but that wasn't a problem for me at all yesterday. Just really enjoyed the shoe all round, and yeah, it's going to be a toss-up what I use, I think, in Loch Ness. Like, the Sky Tokyo feels fantastic. I think it'll be really good on that kind of course. Like the Puma Fast R3 is a shoe I always absolutely love, and we're going to have a video comparing it to the Sky Tokyo soon, but I'm not sure it would be the shoe I would use on a course with lots of downhills and uphills like Loch Ness, because the Puma, I think, is so good at just regulating a pace on a steady, classic city marathon. I'm not sure if it will feel cushioned enough for the long downhill stints and that kind of thing. So yeah, really fantastic shoe. Got the same kind of little durability concerns you always have with these Asics shoes. I've done about 100 miles in the Sky Tokyo now. You can see I'm ripping up the back of the shoe a little bit there. As a heel striker, I am a heel striker. There's been some debate, I think, in the comments about whether I'm a heel striker or not, depending on some cutaways. But I think the wear on shoes is a pretty clear indication that I am hitting the back of the shoe there. That's obviously a concern, but it hasn't ever affected performance. I did more than, I think, a couple of 100 miles on one of the Sky Paris shoes I used, and it still felt just as impressive underfoot. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but you will scuff up the bottom of the shoe. The performance is certainly there. But I should say, I don't think this is like a night and day improvement on the Sky Paris. I do think it is kind of a strict upgrade for me in being lighter and a bit bouncier, but that might not be the case for every runner, because it is a bit softer underfoot. And I did speak to someone after the race yesterday who hadn't liked it as much, I don't think, and that might be because you are sinking a bit more into it, and maybe the slightly firmer platform of the Sky Paris might suit some runners better. They maybe feel they're pushing off a bit harder. I really like the bounciness of this version, but if you saw the Sky Paris in a sale for 50 quid less, I wouldn't hesitate to get that. It's still an amazing racing shoe. I ran my PB in it earlier this year, so it's really not out of date or anything like that. I just think the Sky Tokyo is a touch better for me, but if you're making a big saving, that's always worth doing, I think, with carbon shoes, because there were so many good shoes released over the past couple of years. And then when it comes to the other testing, I had the Phoenix 8 Pro and the 4 and 970 on my wrists, and the GPS was absolutely spot on both of them. It's a really open countryside course. I would expect very exact tracking, and that's exactly what you got. The distance is very, very close to the exact half marathon distance. Pacing was spot on. I think the markers were actually less accurate than the watches on the course at some points, and I was speaking to runners, some of them came a touch early, but it all corrected out for most of them, and by the end it was bang on. So GPS certainly really strong on both of them, as you'd expect. In terms of the battery drain, so I had the live track running, and the Phoenix 8 Pro drained at a rate that means I would get 15.48 hours of battery, which is actually better than the Garmin estimates with multiband and live track enabled, because it's meant to only last 11 hours in that mode. So I still need to fiddle around with these settings a little bit and make sure everything is working correctly with the live track, and actually maybe try and manually send notifications to people during a run to see if they're getting these live tracking points. But I have it set up to start automatically on runs in theory, and the battery life looks pretty good, given that you have got live track going. The 4 and 970 actually also outperformed its battery life expectations in multiband mode in the race. It drained at a rate which suggests it would last 27 hours instead of the 21 hours you're meant to get in multiband. Now, I double checked, both of them were in multiband for the race, and they were, so I'm not sure exactly why their battery was so impressive on the day. I have seen in general, the 4 and 970 drains at a rate in line with Garmin's estimates for it, and I'm still feeling out this live track stuff on the Phoenix 8 Pro, but it's certainly true to say you are getting a lot less battery if you do fire up the live track. There are also some updates I'm not such a big fan of on the Phoenix 8 Pro compared to the standard Phoenix 8, one of them being that the fact it is simply a larger watch and a heavier watch, which you never want when it's already quite a big watch, and compared to something like the 970, which is so thin and slim and lightweight on the wrist. It's obviously built for slightly different purposes, as more of a pure running and triathlon watch as opposed to the adventure watch in the Phoenix, but lots of people would just rather have a slimmer watch on the wrist, and the Phoenix 8 Pro is a bit bigger than the standard model and the Forerunner range, as you'd expect. And other than that, the kit, like I say, was all the stuff I'm planning to use in Loch Ness. The Soar Rion Trail shorts I'll talk about a lot more after the marathon, because I'm planning to carry quite a lot of stuff in them during the marathon, whereas obviously in the half marathon there wasn't so much in them. But yeah, they're certainly very comfortable shorts and feel very fast with that Rion tech in there, but they're also extremely expensive, and obviously I've used very cheap half tights in the past for my races very happily, but I do like these shorts, and I'll see how they go for a full marathon when the muscle saving benefits of this Rion tech might be more useful with some pounding down hills and that kind of thing. But all round, really fun day out at the Pleshey Half Marathon, a race I recommend every year and love to bits, and had my best result there. Really pleased that my PB is now there instead of at Battersea Park, which is a slightly soulless half marathon, just running laps of a very crowded park as opposed to running around the Essex countryside with a county medal on the line. Feels a lot better, and I'm really pleased with how it all went and the kit I used.